Welcome back. We're now getting in some projections for the state of Kerala, and this is an extremely interesting one. As far as Kerala is concerned, Republic CNX is projecting that LDF will get 72 to 80 seats and UDF behind that with 58 to 64 seats. NDA 125, that's the projection as far as Republic CNX is concerned. I'm also going to read out, and we'll have it on the screens in just a bit, India Today Access My India projections, which are much higher for LDF. It is projecting 104 to 120 for the LDF, and for UDF 20 to 36. That's a very large, vast difference that actually they're showing. NDA 0 to 2. And perhaps others 0 to 2. That's the projection of Access My India, India Today on your screens right now, showing LDF 104 to 120. So what we've been hearing on ground all this while is also being reflected in these poll projections, Sudhir, which is the fact that Mr. Pinarayi Vijayan and his party are going to be creating history, being voted for second straight time here.
Well, Kerala is a very interesting story, given the fact that if these figures are to go by, this is going to be a vote on performance, and that's pretty much we found even on the ground during the election campaign period, because Pinarayi Vijayan in a sense has reinvented himself. Go back 5 years, in 2016 it was V.S. Achyutanandan who was still the most popular face as far as Kerala political landscape of the left was concerned. Pinarayi Vijayan was seen as the party man who controlled the party, whereas V.S. Achyutanandan was the more of a people's man. But in the last 5 years, Pinarayi Vijayan has kind of established himself as an administrator. People may call him someone like, the kind of Modi who wears a veshti, in the sense that he is pretty much cut of the same cloth. Pretty authoritarian in the manner in which he runs the government and also controls the CPM. But given the fact that his 5 years have seen a large number of natural disasters, the Nipah virus outbreak, the cyclone to floods, but he has managed to kind of deliver the goods, and that impression is what perhaps may be carrying the day as far as the LDF is concerned. Given the fact that the state has a history of rotating the government every 5 years, the UDF will have reason to be disappointed, more so given the fact that in 2019 Lok Sabha elections, they swept Kerala, including the Wayanad seat of Rahul Gandhi. So Rahul Gandhi campaigned aggressively for the Congress and the UDF in Kerala, but if these numbers are anything to go by, that may not really have borne fruit in that sense.
So it does look like a case, Vinay, where, with the floods, with the pandemic, the vote for performance, at least in Kerala, has gone back. And Kerala saw, really bad couple of years, year after year, with the monsoons and the floods and the landslides. And then came the pandemic and hit them. But every time they've come back, and have managed to handle the healthcare system.
Yes, and I think it's a very interesting case study. I really believe that Kerala as a state is a very interesting case study for multiple reasons. First, just to make a political point, I'm very surprised by the poll that India Today has conducted. That figure doesn't seem accurate to me at all. I don't think the gap can be that huge that the left will get 120 seats. I mean, for that to happen, you will probably need half of the Muslim League to walk over, and every Christian to have been voting for the left, which I don't think is possibly going to happen. But it's very obvious that the left front is probably ahead in the game, and they will probably return to palm. Now, why it is a case study is this. Historically, that state has always changed governments, but now with Mr. Vijayan, there is almost a personality cult. In fact, Mr. Vijayan is doing a lot of things that possibly, and Sudhir is the better expert for that. I'm giving only, basis what I keep hearing and reading and observing and all the friends that we have there, that he seems to have adopted a personality style which is actually very different. I mean, he's been accused of being a little arrogant. He's been riding roughshod over dissent. Some of the journalists there are finding it difficult to operate, which are not the things that you saw with Kerala earlier. But at the same time, he's also been credited with having handled, say, the flood aftermath extremely well. And also, of course, the pandemic, because they've had several rounds of it, and they've got hit very badly. But you don't see the kind of outcry in Kerala as you see possibly in some of the other states which have been hit equally. So maybe his very tough dictatorial personality cult kind of style, which is not exactly how left used to work earlier, has kind of reinvented the way politics in Kerala is. And I personally believe it's a very interesting experiment which one should study on what's really changed in Kerala.
Well, I can only imagine the rivals and the haters of Congress and Rahul Gandhi are going to make it about how he shifted there and, picked Wayanad as the constituency. And look what happened. They broke the record and created history by not coming back to power. I'm completely out of time, Mr. Ansari. My apologies, but we'll pick up this conversation again, of course, with some of our experts and politicians at 9 o'clock. These are some of the initial numbers that we've got for you, where projections show that Mamata Banerjee is set to return. That's the sea voter projection for West Bengal. We've looked at 3 different set of numbers as far as the state of Assam is concerned, and all 3 of them put NDA in the lead, set to return back to power in Assam. We're looking at numbers from Kerala, 2 different set of projections. While their projections are very there's a gap is huge, but they both seem to suggest that Pinarayi Vijayan and the Left Party will return to power in Kerala.